Hey guys, it's Tiffany, and I'm here to give you a look at the July 2024 astrology forecast. So, if you're new here, welcome. My name's Tiffany. I practice Western evolutionary astrology. That means I'm looking for the evolutionary potential of what's possible with the planets in the skies. I believe in one God that made heaven and earth, and that uses the celestial realms to convey God's will for us on planet Earth. So that's a little bit about me. I have a master's in health psychology. I practice from Texas, and I tend to be a little bit more optimistic when I'm looking at the stars. So I'm going to try to be more realistic with you guys this month. July is building to a really intense point on July 15th. So there's a pressure cooker that's building in July that will release mid-month and then fade back down. And so if you're feeling that intensification of energy early, just know that you're right on time and that things are heating up and getting a little bit steamy. The energy of July overall in the numerology, it shifts into a 6, which is my favorite energy to work with of all of the numbers to work with in numerology. The 6 is about nesting, about being at home, about redecorating, about making things comfortable, feeling relaxed and safe and secure. It's keeping the home fires burning and all of these things that really correlate nicely with Cancer season. Thinking about homeland security, thinking about home cooked meals, thinking about all of the ways that you can put home and family first. We're in an 8 year. So the 8 year is that infinity symbol. What goes up must come down. What goes down must come up, right? And so there can be a feeling of risk and reward and rolling the dice and taking a chance on things all year long in 2024. But this little slice of the pie is the 6th slice, right, in the 8 year. And so we're still thinking about nesting, doing your psychic development, doing your spiritual development, creating intuition. What is it that you're noticing about home and family this month? What's changing? How's your kitchen? Is what Leisha and I say sometimes. How's your kitchen? Isn't that cute? So also in July, I want to warn you that the anaretic degree comes into play twice. So twice it's very significant. The anaretic degree is the 29th degree. This is the end of a zodiac sign. So zodiac signs go from 0, 1 through 30. So 29 is that last little bit where things are way more intense, where the lessons of all of the degrees have built up, right? So there's an element of that pressure cooker expresses twice when the anaretic degree is ignited. And this is ignited as Neptune retrogrades in 29 degrees of Pisces, July 2nd through December 7th. And it's also ignited with the second full moon in Capricorn in a row, which falls on July 21st. Okay, so this will be an interesting thing for you guys to watch and observe your lives as July carries forward. So the first couple of weeks, July 1st through 11th-ish, is that focus on heart and hearth and home and habits and all of these things that I've been talking about. July 2nd, Mercury is going to enter Leo until the 25th. And then as Mercury enters Leo, it will trine retrograde Neptune. So Neptune going retrograde on the 2nd. And the sun is going to square the nodes. So there's a lot of mixed energy with that. Mercury in Leo, it's like a great time to make announcements, your time to shine, your time to lead, your time to be the authority figure. Neptune retrograde, also giving yourself space for grace, not having to get everything done and perfect before you start talking about it. There can be, let's see, sun squaring the nodes, there can be endings and beginnings. And that's actually a really good way to talk about the anaretic degree as well. So lots of endings and beginnings and pathways within pathways in the month of July. On the 5th, the new moon is going to be in Cancer. And at 14 degrees of Cancer, let me pull up the fixed star list. Yeah, 14 degrees of Cancer is Sirius, the dog star, the prime sun of our galaxy. And so Sirius is about, yes, emotionality, but also fame and fortune and leadership and wealth and things like this. So we like fixed star Sirius. Also in 14 degrees of Cancer is Canopus. And this is about voyages and journeys and creativity. On the challenging side of Canopus is scandal. So you might be seeing some scandalous things in the news. We already have been seeing some scandalous things in the news, right? Your new moon in Cancer intention could look like this. I love how I feel at home. I feel at home in my body, something like this. The new moon is starting a new 2.5 year cycle, of course. So what's starting now on July 5th will complete in October of 2026. The Sabian symbol with 14 Cancer is a group of people who have overeaten and enjoyed it. And so that food side of Cancer, personally, I'm relating to this because I finally ordered. I have been wanting the 1930 or 1931, the All-American canner that came out in vintage colors. And I have been wanting it for a year or more. I've been like toying with it, and I'll go to order it and they don't have it anymore. So I went to order it the other day and they had it. So I'm getting my very first All-American canner, which I'm so excited about. So this idea of a lot of the planets being focused on Cancer season and home cooking and what you can do at home, how you can grow your own food and preserve it, and really just, be that rugged individual that can provide and be self-sufficient and also make really yummy, tasty things right from your own garden where you're informing the information, right? So anyways, this matches for me because I'm getting a new canner. How exciting is that for me, right? All right, so July 6th, Venus is going to square Chiron, and I feel like there's forgiveness is in the air. I feel like something has gotten to a head where there's been a big breakup, where there's been a big emotional challenge, where there's a part of us. Chiron represents a part of us that is small, vulnerable, hurt, wounded, and moody. It also represents our soulmates, our potential for our biggest healing to come through the lens of another. And when it's challenged by Venus there on July 6th, we are going to grow through looking at the mirror of ourself in relationships. So reparenting ourselves, things like this, rewiring the heart. Venus is then going to move into Leo July 5th through August 5th. And Venus and Leo, that's people are going to want to be petted. You're going to be enamored with things. There's this like the rose colored glasses and falling in love, and it's celebrities, and it's having fun with life and finding that childlike wonder. Just a reminder that we all deserve more unconditional love, not less. And so, as you are looking at this Venus Chiron square, if things are kind of upset for you in some way, if you're biochemically not balanced, this is going to be exacerbated, right? If your systems aren't firing right, you're going to have an emotional experience that may be larger than is necessary, right? And so I put a link on the blog if you're looking at the July blog to watch an interview I did with Jess Yanda on cortisol and intuition. And I think that time of the month would be really interesting to be looking at. Yeah, has my body been flooded by cortisol? We all have these stressors, right, in life, including family stuff, emotional stuff, environment stuff, food stuff, air, water stuff, right? So the ability to manage cortisol effectively at a biochemical level, Jess went through all of her favorite herbs, all of her favorite areas to supplement when it comes to balancing out the areas that are affected by cortisol, the heart, gut, brain axis, hormones, foggy brain. For me, it was heartburn was a big thing that we solved. And so anyways, I invite you to check that out. And I think mid-July is a great time to be very aware of that. So July 12th through 21st, this is when we're having that intensification, when the pressure cooker is building. I didn't mean to make a canning like hello, har har harlick. There's a canning reference with a pressure cooker reference. So July 15th, what all the hubbub is about is that Mars and Uranus are conjunct each other. They're right next to each other on fixed star Algol. And so Algol is part of the Medusa constellation. It's known as the beheading star. Off with their heads, heads will roll. Algol, right? It's known as like the feminine hysteria, that wild primal hysteria. It's also associated with female sexuality and sensuality. And so the fact that Mars, this planet of fire and ignition and energy, is next to Uranus, that's a firework, that's an explosion, that's a volcanic eruption, that's something big that is going off, right? And so where Uranus is also spasms and things that create electricity, right? Next to fixed star Algol, It's a big red flag in the skies. Mars and Uranus next to each other, I think in the calendar I was really happy about that because it can be the spark that changes everything, right? And that's not so bad. Sometimes it's uncomfortable when we're getting out of our comfort zone. Mars might push you into that range of where you're uncomfortable. Uranus also rules technology, robotics, aliens, things that are out there, that are spacey, that are futuristic, that are on trend, very zeitgeist type energy, right? So Mars pushes that energy forward. Um, it's just really interesting times. So be extra careful, special with your littles, with your babies, with your pets, with your toddlers, with your elderly, with the people that are close to you, with your homes, don't leave the iron on, things like this. So this transit is absolutely going to make you aware of where you have felt held back. You're going to have that like ready to go at the starting gates, racehorse type energy about something. So it's complicated, it's nuanced. On July 20th, the Mars is in Gemini from July 20th through September 4th. And this is, again, Mars is going to bring energy and information to where we need to focus our drive, our motivation. So, what is it that we need to focus on and put energy towards? Gemini things, exchanging information. Jupiter's there too, right? Like exchanging ideas. What Gemini rules our nervous system health. So, going back to cortisol and intuition, Gemini rules our hands, our wrists, our lungs, our shoulders. And so these areas you might want to be extra careful, special, and safe with as we're approaching that conjunction on the 15th. Maybe there's an echo going on about a week after. I broke some glass right here on my wrist. It's healing. But you could see, like, that's an expression, that's astrology in action, and it's early. Mars transits are felt at least a week early, right? So well before the 15th, are you going to be having these little micro explosions to be aware of? So the healing pathways, right? The healing pathways, recalibrating the healing pathways from the nervous system, from the inside out. On July 21st, we have a full moon in 29 degrees, that anaretic degree of Capricorn. It's the second full moon in Capricorn in a row. So what are we really trying to tie up? What loose ends are we really trying to tidy up and complete and feel good about? There can be this sense of urgency to get something done, to get something off of your plate, to take care of your future self in a way. Under the light of the full moon, it's time to face facts. Something's illuminated, something's being shown to you, and so that you can pivot. This lunar cycle started back in January 21st of 2023. You're being shown more right now, July 21st of 2024. And whatever this theme for you is in your life will complete in April of 2025. For nuance, the Sabian symbol is directors of a large firm meet in secret conference. That's interesting, right? That's interesting to take note of. So I put a link in the blog for you about, it's a checklist, and it's if you're needing to make tough decisions, it's called Decisions. And so there's a list of questions for self-reflection that you can go through. July 22nd through 31st feels a lot better. This idea of being clean spirited, of cleaning up your side of the street, of having a clean heart, of being in right relationship with yourself, with God, with other people. I wrote in the blog, the saying cleanliness is next to godliness comes to mind as July comes to close. So any apologies, any confessions, any changes of behavior that are the real living amends, that it's time to do that, to put that into gear. The sun is going to move into Leo, so Cancer season will come to a close and Leo season will start on July 22nd. This is when we can become the star of our own life. Leo has confidence, it has optimism, it has that childlike wonder, it has that heart-centered leadership, that big cheerleader, top of the pyramid energy. And then on the 25th, Mercury enters Virgo, where it loves to be, right? One of its favorite signs to be. So organizing your thoughts, organizing your life. Again, this idea of clearing clutter, cleaning out a drawer, feeling good about an apology and acting differently. Mercury in Virgo is about precision, processes, procedures, protocols. Mercury will be in Virgo July 25th through August 15th. It might be a good time to review contracts, organize things in the house, map out your plans. Virgo and Mercury rule gardens and pets. And so it could be a time when you're prepping your fall garden or you're ordering stuff from the seed catalogs. Think about minimalistic energy. What can you cut out to create more efficiency and clarity in room? July 25th, there's a heart reset. So Chiron retrogrades in Aries, and that brings us some introspection, reflection, and focus on our personal health and healing. There's a promise that's made in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous that we will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. And that's what I think of when it comes to Chiron retrograde. You haven't done anything that messes up your whole life. I promise. There is somebody else that has done something worse out there. Whatever you have done, there is a place of forgiveness and coming to terms with it and moving on and not having to live with shame or guilt or doubt. And so you can learn more about how Chiron and Aries affects you personally through my articles on the website, tiffanyharlick.com. And then July horoscopes. So I wrote horoscopes this month. How fun is that? And so if you want to check that out, Aries through Pisces, I wrote the horoscopes on my blog. It's tiffanyharlick.com, HARELIK, and /blog, and you'll see what the latest blog post is. But if you want to go to the July one to check out the horoscopes, I encourage you to do that. So thanks for hanging out with me. If this content is useful or helpful, please subscribe, like, share it out there, and don't use the astrology against yourself. Use it as a roadmap forward to be to navigate with awareness and to observe and to be in wonder of this beautiful earth and this precious life experience that we get to have. And one last thing, guys, if you wanted to check out my latest product, it's called 40 Days of Spirit. We have the first 100 people that have been going through it already, and you get to spend 40 days focusing on your spiritual gifts, your spiritual abilities, developing your psychic skills, developing your intuition. And so if this speaks to you and you would like to commit that time with me as your guide and mentor, I think it's super reasonably priced. It's now evergreen, so you can join anytime, and it's a 40-day sequence that you'll get emailed 24 hours at one after the other. So if you start at 5 o'clock at night, the next one will come 5 o'clock the next day, and so on. Okay. I hope this has been useful to you. Again, I'm Tiffany. Thank you for the opportunity to share what I see. And I look forward to your comments and questions and feedback in the comments. Take care. Namaste.